The sun peeked over Rome, the eternal city, painting St. Peter's Square in a warm golden light. As dawn broke, the ancient buildings glowed, as if the city was stretching awake for a fresh start. The old cobblestones, polished by centuries of travelers, sparkled with new energy. This was a moment steeped in history, a sunrise that felt like the start of something big, a day the world would remember. People from every corner of the planet gathered, their faces glowing with excitement. The air hummed with voices in countless languages, everyone eager to soak in this historic moment. Cameras snapped, phones filmed, and social media lit up with live updates as the world tuned in. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, a kind-hearted priest from Manila, was about to make history as Pope Luis I, the first Asian pope ever. His path from the lively streets of Manila to the Grand Vatican was remarkable. Known for his warmth and humility, Cardinal Tagle had already won countless hearts. Now, he was ready to step into a role that would change the world. A buzz of excitement rippled through St. Peter's Square as the crowd gathered, hearts full of hope and eyes fixed on the balcony. Flags from countries far and wide waved gently in the breeze, showing just how universal the Catholic Church is. The sea of people, each with their own unique story, held their breath, waiting for a moment that would kick off a new chapter in their faith. This wasn't just another day. It was the start of something huge for the Catholic Church. Everyone there felt the weight of the moment, reflecting on the past while looking forward with hope. The towering St. Peter's Basilica stood as a proud reminder of the Church's long history and its ability to grow and change with the times. The air was electric with expectation, mixed with the sweet smell of incense. Faces glowed in the soft morning light, filled with respect and eager anticipation as they watched the balcony. The scent of incense floated upward, carrying the prayers and dreams of millions. The whole world was watching Rome, pulled in by the promise of a new era. Journalists from every corner had their cameras ready, broadcasting this historic moment to millions. This wasn't just about one city or one faith. It was a moment that connected people across borders and cultures. This wasn't just a new leader stepping up. It was a massive shift. Choosing Pope Luis XI showed the world that the Catholic Church embraces everyone, especially the growing voice of Asia. It was a bold step toward a future that celebrates the beauty of different cultures and traditions, weaving them into the Church's story. The crowd in St. Peter's Square was a vibrant mix of languages and cultures, standing side by side, bound by their shared faith and excitement. Holding rosaries, prayer books, or just clasping their hands, they were a living picture of the Church's unity and diversity. Their collective hope wove them together, a reminder that no matter where they came from, they were one big global family. The sacred ritual. The bells of St. Peter's Basilica rang out, their deep chimes bouncing off the ancient walls, signaling the start of something extraordinary. It was a call to the faithful and a message to the world. A historic moment was about to begin. As the morning sun bathed the basilica in golden light, the air buzzed with anticipation. People from all walks of life stood together, their eyes locked on the grand basilica, eager for the sacred ceremony to start. Cardinals, dressed in striking scarlet robes, moved slowly through the basilica, their faces serious and focused. Every step they took was careful, every gesture meaningful, showing the weight of this centuries-old tradition. The bright red of their robes popped against the cool marble, creating a stunning visual that felt almost like a painting. Then Cardinal Tagle appeared, wearing a simple white cassock that stood out amid the elaborate surroundings. His quiet, dignified entrance was a powerful moment, reflecting the humility at the heart of true leadership. His plain attire said more than words could, showing his deep commitment to service and the spiritual core of this sacred event. The square exploded with cheers, a wave of joy surging through the crowd as if lifting Cardinal Tagle toward his new role. The energy was electric, with flags and banners waving wildly and voices blending into one mighty chorus. It was a beautiful moment of togetherness, where everyone celebrated their shared faith and traditions, no matter their differences. Cardinal Tagle's humility shone through, his gentle and kind presence paired with a quiet strength in his eyes. You could see he understood the huge responsibility he was taking on, carrying the hopes and prayers of millions. Every move he made, every look he gave, showed his deep sense of purpose and unshakable devotion to his faith. The papal coronation ceremony unfolded like a graceful dance, rooted in centuries of tradition. Every ritual was carried out with care, connecting the present to the past. The air was filled with the sweet scent of incense, and the clergy's chants echoed, creating a sacred and awe-inspiring atmosphere. It was a vivid reminder of the faith that has endured through time. Every gesture and detail carried the weight of history, tying this moment to the long line of popes before. The careful steps of the ceremony and the serious faces of those involved showed deep respect for the traditions that have shaped the papacy for generations. It was a heartfelt celebration of the Church's lasting legacy. The moment when Cardinal Tagle received the fisherman's ring, the symbol of the papacy, was deeply moving. This ring, a powerful emblem, marked the start of his journey as Pope Luis I, tying him to the sacred duties of leading the Church. With great care, the fisherman's ring was slipped onto Pope Luis I's finger, a powerful symbol of his authority as the successor to Saint Peter. This ring tied him directly to the ancient traditions of the Church, a reminder of the huge spiritual and leadership responsibilities he now carried. Next came the papal pallium, a simple woolen band draped over his shoulders, symbolizing his role as the shepherd of his people. Made from the wool of lambs blessed by the Pope, it stood for his duty to guide and protect his flock. As the pallium was placed on him, a quiet seriousness settled over the scene, like a sacred promise of care and leadership. The crowd fell silent, caught in a moment of deep respect, feeling the weight of this historic occasion. It was a time of unity and reflection, where everyone shared in the recognition of the Church's enduring faith and traditions. Pope Luis I's path to this moment began in humble roots in the Philippines. Luis Antonio Tagle's life was marked by deep faith and a commitment to helping others. A brilliant student, he dove into his studies, earning a doctorate in theology. But what truly made him special was his heart for the poor and forgotten. He worked tirelessly with Caritas Internationalis, the Church's leading charity, bringing hope and aid to those in need around the world. His warmth and charm were magnetic. Whether speaking to world leaders or comforting a grieving family, he connected with people in a way that felt personal and genuine. His sermons were unforgettable, blending humor and wisdom to inspire everyone to live with more love and kindness. Pope Luis I was a true shepherd, knowing his people deeply and leading by example with compassion and grace. A world rejoices. The joy in St. Peter's Square spread like wildfire, lighting up cities and towns around the world. In the Philippines, Pope Luis I's homeland, the celebrations were unstoppable. Churches were packed with people singing joyful hymns that spilled into the streets. Fireworks burst across the night sky, splashing bright colors against the darkness. From the lively streets of Manila to the tiniest villages, the entire nation beamed with pride, thrilled that their beloved Cardinal Tagle had risen to the highest role in their faith. World leaders sent heartfelt congratulations, recognizing the importance of this historic moment. Leaders from different faiths joined in, offering prayers and blessings, celebrating how faith can bring people together in a divided world. Social media hummed with messages of love and support, showing just how far Pope Louis I's message of kindness and inclusion reached. In the name of humility. Choosing the name Luis XI wasn't just a random decision, it carried deep meaning. It was a bold statement of who he wanted to be as Pope. By picking this name, he connected himself to a legacy of humility and service woven into the Church's history. It was a nod to Saint Louis, the King of France, who was loved for his fairness, humility, and dedication to peace. Known for his just leadership during troubled times, St. Louis showed how humility could be a powerful force. Pope Louis I's choice of name was a promise to lead with that same spirit of kindness and justice. The name Luis XI also paid tribute to Saint Aloysius Gonzaga, the patron saint of youth, showing Pope Louis I's heartfelt dedication to inspiring and supporting the next generation. Saint Aloysius lived a life of selfless service, especially for young people, and his story continues to motivate others. The name Louis, simple and down-to-earth, perfectly captured the essence of the man who chose it. Someone who put serving others above himself and truly understood what humility means. In a world where flashy titles and grandeur often steal the spotlight, this choice of name meant so much. It struck a chord with people of faith, feeling like a warm, familiar embrace. To them, Pope Louis XI was a leader who felt like one of their own, someone who got their struggles and dreams. His name sent a clear message. This papacy would be about humility, listening, and reaching out to those who need help the most. Pope Louis I's words and actions backed up this promise. He showed that his leadership would focus on bringing people together, welcoming everyone, and caring for the most vulnerable. He turned away from showy displays of power and instead stayed true to the heart of the Church's values. His simple name matched his simple approach, choosing to focus on what really matters. In a world often caught up in chasing power and prestige, Pope Louis I's choice was like a refreshing breeze. It reminded everyone that real leadership is about serving others. Through his example, he's shown that true greatness comes from humility and lifting others up, not putting yourself first. A papacy of hope. When Pope Louis I stepped forward to speak to the crowd for the first time, a quiet anticipation settled over St. Peter's Square. His voice, warm and welcoming, carried both a promise and a gentle challenge. He spoke of bringing people together in a world that feels more divided than ever. He urged everyone to care for the planet, acting as guardians of God's creation. He called for open conversations, building connections between people of different faiths. His words struck a chord worldwide, especially with young people who saw him as a leader who truly understood their worries. His passion for fairness, his embrace of modern tools like technology, and his open, welcoming approach gave people hope. They saw in him a church that could spark real, positive change in the world. For more inspiring stories and thought-provoking content, please subscribe to our channel. God always.